Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your extended. All right, since it's your birthday, bro, let's fucking smoke, right? Let's fucking smoke. And if you're not near some smoke right now, or you can't, if you're at work, if you're listening on your phone, if you're on the train, baby, I'm lighting this for you. Happy fucking birthday. You deserve it. Happy fucking birthday. With the keef and everything. All right, let's talk. Now, you know how we talked about the victim thing? Excuse me. How it harkens back to some time in your life when you felt helpless. And so it's like really hard for you to turn away from someone who is helpless, right? And we've talked about how this is your Achilles heel. There's not much wrong with you. We all know that. But this, you get the reference, right? You know what Achilles heel is? Achilles is a perfect warrior, except the heel by which he was held over the sacred fire that made him immortal. Where, I think it's Hera, maybe it wasn't Hera, I forget, where she held him over the fire from his heel, where she was touching him and the fire didn't touch him, is the only place that he was vulnerable. But in that place, he was mortal and it could kill him to be wounded there. Now, Achilles didn't necessarily spend a lot of time paying attention to his heel. He didn't, for example, go around in an iron boot so his heel could never be hurt. And nobody expects you to do that either. And perhaps there is something to be said, some argument to be made for whether Achilles would have behaved differently if he had been preoccupied with his heel. All that is to say that the way you are and the way that your heart is set up is beautiful, and nobody wants you to change. And of course, we need really powerful people to supplement and stand up and support people who aren't as powerful. So you do, in a very real way, bring balance to the equation. The only reason I bring it up is because sometimes you get imbalanced and you give. Now, when you used to do that in the past, to be perfectly blunt, there wasn't as much to give as there is now. Now you have a lot more to lose. And although we all acknowledge the nobility of how you are, those mistakes and the stumbles of the past, if you make them again, they'll be much more costly because you have so much more now, mashallah, and therefore much more to lose. At the same time, you have this powerful energy here. What is it? I just love pictures. Well, look, it's right there. This is the energy that finally gets that steel into your spine that makes you say, my fate, my destiny, my life is no longer about anything that happened to me. It's not about any of these swords. It's not about what it did to me. My fate, my life is mine now. You've conquered the outer world. You're doing a fucking great job of conquering the inner world. And when when you focus here now, my life is about me, something really incredible happens. It's like you reach a new level of winning. It's like you create another level to the mountain and then you climb it. You can just keep doing it. Now, of course, it has to be said that there's going to be a lot of people who really dislike this, especially people who count other people's money and are money insecure, whether they're lazy or fixated or procrastinators. They're not like you. And your success is particularly triggering to them because I think for a long time they could say, oh, well, you're successful in this realm, but not in that realm. Or, you know what I mean? You're smart in this way, but not in that way. You're really smart, but you're not pretty. You're really pretty, but you're not smart. This kind of bullshit, right? So when they see this like comprehensive level of winning going on here, it's so agitating, especially to those. I don't want to use the word traditional because I think you are the more traditional sign in comparison between you and Taurus, but it's different. It's not traditional as much as it is stodgy. It's fixed earth, you know, like it doesn't want to change at all. The thing with Capricorns is like, yes, it's earth, but it's cardinal earth. Loves change. Loves change. Isn't going to be scared by change. Fuck all that. Looking at change right in the face. Let's fucking go. Battling it out with it. Like just not even seeing it as something to ever be afraid of or upset about. Like it's just like this is life, man. And again, for Capricorn rising, this is because you're sitting across from Cancer. Jeez Louise, you know, the harbinger of change, just bringing it in all the time. The ocean just hitting you over and over. Like, yeah, you can deal with change. And people who are particularly tied up with their past, nah, they don't like it. They don't like it. I think they don't like how much you can adapt. I don't think the thing that they like the least about you is how you can move in every world. Listen to me. Listen to me on your birthday. The thing that irritates these people, because they really don't have a reason to be irritated with you. You know that. You stay in your lane. You're not talking stupid shit. You're minding the business that pays you. Always. Okay? But the reason people like this stay in your business instead of the business that should be paying them is because it's the level of connective supremacy here. Like, how are you like elusive and cool, but also powerful and charming, but also everybody likes you? Like, this shit confuses the hell out of them. They want what you got. And the more self-esteem is building in you, because you know it's happening too. The more dreams are coming true, the more accomplishments are rounding out and, you know, coming to fruition, and you finish school, or you got that job, or you finished a degree, or you whatever you're doing, you moved out of that space, or you moved into that space, whatever it is building your self-esteem even more. You know, this upward spiral is fantastic to watch if you're not a hater. But if you like things to be how they are, and if this person is going through shit in their own life, oh gosh. So, what should you do? Well, excuse me. First and foremost, be extremely grateful. Secondly, be vocal about your gratitude. And be vocal to all the people that make that up for you. You see how we talked about the 9 of Cups? Don't you love it? You see how we talked about the 9 of Cups? And how that's what you need to work on. And it's the communication. You see? Middle January, on the 18th, Mercury's going to go direct. After that, run as fast as you can. Do what you need to do. But in the interim, from now until then, you're going to figure this out. That projecting thing, that thing, you know, where sometimes you lose it with people, you're going to figure out. It may not seem like enough time, but it's the energy. The energy's there. You're going to figure out how to leave your past behind. How to effectively, permanently dissolve the past. And begin to move and be and speak and look like someone that didn't happen to. I know it's like, what are you talking about? That just seems too simplistic. I know. But the energy is now. And a lot of times, just since we're talking about it, a lot of times people be getting upset. You know, because they want these readings and they want this whole vibe to be something that can be monetized on a schedule. And I get that, of course, because everything that you buy and sell is monetized on a schedule. But the energy is now. I don't know if I just made that up or if I've heard it before. I think I just made it up. It's a very profound statement. Because you can really want something. You may have wanted this for a really long time. Of course you have. But until you have the right fuel, let me put it like this. I got 2 TVs right now, right? I never had 2 TVs. I used to not even have one. But I saw this TV in a store and I couldn't believe it because I don't like these new TVs. They make everything look like the B-roll footage, like the shit that they haven't cut and like filtered or anything yet. You know, everything looks like just dumb real and like not at all romantic, or not even cinema doesn't look right. So I just like don't like TV. But a couple months ago, I was in a store in Scandinavia and I saw a Sony TV that looked like the fucking the TV of my 5-year-old dreams. It looked like the old TVs. The picture was like the old TV. Like, it was dope as fuck. So I got it. So when I got back here, I have a TV, and then I got one of those TVs. I mean, it's spectacular. And it's like affordable. So I was like, oh shit. Even in the store, I was like, why aren't more people buying this? And the guy was like, I don't understand, because it's the best TV that's come out in years, but it's like 1/10 of the price of all these other TV. And I was like, I know. Like, I'm just going on picture. I don't care what else is going on, you know? So I have these 2 TVs. Trust me, this is going somewhere. Don't worry. That means I have 2 remotes. One of the TVs I set up in front of my desk, so it looks like a fireplace. I feel like I should just show you real fast. You see it? Okay. So what happens a lot now is that I'll be trying to turn down. I've been watching Ronin a lot. Like, I'm just on like a Ronin kick. It's just one of my favorite movies, and sometimes I just feel like watching it again and again. I do this with Maltese Falcon as well. I do it with Nope. I do it with The Matrix. So I've been watching Ronin a lot, right? And as you know, in Ronin, there are some parts that are really, really fucking loud. So I'm constantly caught wanting to turn it down. I think you know where I'm going with this. Excuse me. So what's happened to me a lot lately is that in a moment where the movie goes from like people whispering to like cars blowing up and rifle fire, I'm like desperately in that moment rushing to find the remote and turn it down. And I've had this experience quite a few times in the past few days where I'm just pressing the remote, and nothing's happening. And I'm just like getting so frustrated. And then I'm realizing that I'm pressing the remote for the fireplace. And that I just need to use a different remote. Now, I could stand here for 20 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, and keep pressing that volume button and keep expecting the sound on the movie to turn down. I could do that. My persistence, okay, do you see what I'm getting at here? My persistence is not going to pay off. right? One of the things, one of the changes in the I Ching can be you are like one searching for mushrooms in the wrong forest. You can search and search and search all you want. You know, the searching, the diligent doing, the persistence will not get you there if you're not in the right place, in the right mindset, in the right forest, in the right field, with using the right remote. Pick which metaphor suits you. So you can say, okay, that's a tall order. You're telling me that this trauma that fucking haunts me, that now that, truth be told, I'm even more successful, that it's like even more of a drag on me. You're telling me that in 20 days from now, I'll learn how to healthily communicate with that and leave it? Just let it slide off my back? Yeah. Yeah. Because you got the right remote in your hand. And you can say, but I've persistently, diligently, yeah, you have, with the wrong remote. I know, this is why Capricorns get, like, you love us, you hate Geminis and you love Gemini, because you know, you don't like to hear it like that. You like to tell it like that, okay? Let's tell the truth. You like to tell it like that, but you don't like to hear it like that. It's the wrong remote. Wrong remote. Now, forget that though, who cares? Now you got the right remote. Ooh la la. The wonders you can accomplish. My God, Capricorn, this is going to be so fun for you. And what's the right remote? How did that happen? How did I switch remotes? Okay, I'll follow you there. But how did I get there? I think the pain of using the wrong remote just got so unbearable. Okay, another reference from Ronin. Let's fucking go. I'm smoking more. Fuck this. How can there only be... No way. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to the store. There's only one left in here. What a tragedy. Okay. Another Ronin reference. At one point, and if you don't know what Ronin is, it's a movie with Robert De Niro, and it's fucking fantastic, and you absolutely need to watch it. It's one of the best movies ever made. It's like true cinema. So there's a point where Robert De Niro, who's playing ex-CIA, is talking to the other guys that are part of this crew. It's like a heist movie, but to call it that is like ridiculous. So one of the guys who's like just the most cringe character you're ever gonna see, the guy from Game of Thrones season 1, One Does Not Simply Walk into Mordor guy. He's like just being his cringe self, and he's like talking about how he could like withstand torture forever and he would never give in, whatever. And Robert De Niro, ex-CIA, is like, listen, everybody gives in. And he's like, not me. And he's like, no, everybody. And the guy's like, oh, did they torture you? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, did you give in? He's like, yeah, of course. Like, you can't hold out forever, you know? And then it's funny. Another guy says, well, how'd they finally get you? And Bobby De Niro goes, they gave me a grasshopper. And the guy goes, what's that? And he says, not the cringe guy, another guy says, well, what's that? And he says, I think it's like 1 part gin, 1 part creme de menthe, 1 part... The point is, you could think that you can last forever. This is torture, but I'm just gonna stand here and use the wrong remote until, like, remote, you know, the god of remotes comes down here and sees that I'm doing it right and that I should get to change the volume on the other TV. Damn it. You can do that. But at some point, you're gonna give in. Everybody gives in. Because, in a very real sense, you are ruled by the planet that does the torturing. So you get it the most. You know, you're the one who's not allowed to misbehave at all. And I think it finally got too much for you to carry it around. Well, Jesus Christ, it is really heavy. And you have been doing this for a long time. So, why now? How? What next? Open your heart. And all the opportunities you need will quickly present themselves. No problem. You're already here. Now let's talk about spiritual wealth, contentment, and that final release. God, don't you fucking love it? And that final release from the past. Ooh, we love it. New. It's a beautiful reading. It's a powerful reading. It's a necessary reading. And you know, you deserve it. I gotta say, this is probably the best reading I've done all year. I'm not just saying that. And of course, it would be your fucking reading. I also have a bunch of Elvis footage that I have to share with you. And perhaps I owe you a bit of an explanation. I don't feel like I owe anybody else an explanation, but your fucking costume was so dope. You know what it was? Every time I put on the costumes, most of them, taped most of it, and I couldn't go back and look at it, and I couldn't edit it because I just felt like such an asshole. You know, because my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. She's actually fine now, though. But at the time, I was really fucked up about it. And I just couldn't, well, I couldn't bring myself to perform, but I did. Which is what the Halloween videos are about, you know, performing out, like, this performative, like, archetype display. But I couldn't go back and look at it. I couldn't, in a very real way, look myself in the eye. And I didn't regret it at all, not for a second, for any of the signs except you. Because I think secretly you were the ones that were the most looking forward to it, maybe, but also like the ones who felt like the most like, what the fuck? Like, we like when things happen on time every year. You know, like, what happened? That's what happened. And in true air sign fashion, you know, I'm shit at expressing it. But I will share some of the footage with you on Instagram. And I don't think I will share any of the other signs, but I will share yours. And I think there's something to be said as we're closing out this reading and talking about next year. I think there's something to be said for that Elvis ambition. I think Elvis is a really great example of somebody who cultivated his spirituality very young and then found the balance of mastering that with mastering the external very young. And then perhaps didn't continue to do the work. Not to judge anyone, but he did become a symbol of excess and stagnation, physically and also perhaps in thought. You know, just performing the old hits again and again. A caricature of a caricature, if you will. And so to see him in that kind of pinnacle glory moment, and then to see like the most outrageous, amazing downfall ever, kind of, you know, true Capricorn fashion. Same thing's happening right now with Ghislaine Maxwell. Not that we need to like conflate that. I think it speaks to this reading quite well, and especially the general part. You know, to be committed to evolution, to be committed to your own happiness, and to be willing to make hard sacrifices internally, externally, like leaving the past behind. This is noble work. And you're doing it, and you can do it, inshallah, and you will do it, and you'll get it done, just like you get everything done. But I think Elvis is a cautionary tale in what happens when you don't get it done, and how you can easily slip into some sort of indulgent echo chamber that it's hard to get out of. The walls are pretty slippery and sticky at the same time, you know? So, keep that in mind. It may seem like a fun road, but it's not. That's why I brought up Elvis. Okay? Of course, we have to end on a serious note, because this is a Capricorn reading, and that's how we are. We're serious. No, you guys are dope. Be careful, have fun, stay away from these fucking haters. They're really confused, and they're gonna ask you over and over again, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? Give them no answers. Normalize lying to people who ask too many questions, honestly. Forget them. I love you. You're the best. Happy birthday. Happy holidays.